all of those aspects of great friendships and relationships. This film followed a perfect 4-act structure. The hook is when you come in, he's looking for his ex-wife, and you're talking about, why is he looking for his ex-wife? What happened? And then the complications occur when he has a daughter. He realizes he has a daughter. The conflicts arise as he attempts to establish a relationship with his daughter. About midway through the movie, that's when nature, kind of reveals itself. And then the climax, which enters into the 3rd act, is, will they be able to continue their relationship? How is this all going to play itself out? Tim Roham directed this movie, and he has a relatively short resume, only 2 films to his credit, and this is definitely one of them. He's produced other shorts and TV shows, but this was one project where he's not only the director, but he's also the writer. And I thought he did a great job of introducing us to Dylan's world early in the movie. He presents his relationships, his jobs, his lifestyle, really brings us into his experience. I thought it was wonderfully shot, not too many close-ups. I thought the scenes were extremely carefully laid out in places where the plot points would logically take place. The music, wonderfully understated. A few simple piano riffs is really all this story needed. I thought Wendell and Jurnee gave great performances. This is my first time really seeing Jurnee in a feature. As I said earlier, I don't really remember her in Mr. Cooper, but it appears that, like I said before, man, I think stardom is in front of her. Okay, and it was really cool to see Wendell in such a sensitive and patient role. You're so used to seeing him with that cigar in his mouth, and he's drinking, he's hanging out with McNulty and doing all these different types of things. But it was really kind of cool to see how he played the role of a mature man, not just a black man, but a mature man who overcomes these obstacles that he has to deal with, that life throws at you, with aplomb, with wisdom, with courage. And I thought that even though Joanne Froggaard had a relatively small role, I thought her small instances in the movie, it's kind of like that, you have like a cupcake with icing all over it, and then somebody comes in and goes bloop and puts the cherry on top. I thought like Joanne was she's like the cherry. You're not the icing, you're not the cake, but it's not complete without the bloop cherry on top. What worked well in this movie, I thought, it's a well-told story that is enjoyable and definitely appreciated. Where I thought it kind of could have been a little bit better was I would have liked to have seen more flashbacks of like what happened between Wendell and his ex-wife. That storytelling I thought kind of left just a few gaps. I mean, they talked about it. I mean, they gave it some exposition, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit of that. And then I also thought they could have did a lot more with Jamie. She was a good sounding board for Dylan's character. But some complications or some interesting wrinkles in their relationship would have made this just a little bit more interesting. Now, it was rated PG-13, mainly because of some of the languages. And as far as the Aristotle Index goes, I gave it, just like the other film, it was a 0. All right. Nothing seemed impossible. Everything seemed to be relatively realistic. So it did kind of have, I will be honest, it did kind of have a little bit of like a Hallmarky kind of feel to it. Okay. I'm not going to lie about that. I don't want to go as far as Lifetimey, but it did have a little bit of like a Hallmarky feel to it. So, I mean, you could probably figure out what's going to happen as you're watching the movie, but hey, I still loved it. IMDb gave it a very solid 6.2. Rotten Tomatoes did not have a score for it. So I'm going to give it a Rotten Tomatoes score. I'll go with a 75. Yeah, I think that's 75 is solid. Now, the audience gave it an 83, so I wanted to kind of keep it within range of one another. Okay, so there you go, 75 and 83. As far as the Cinema and Cocktails rating, I gave it a strong 3.5, 4. This is definitely the kind of movie that you watch on your couch laying down. Not asleep, but just kind of laying down, all right? And there's no need to sit up and watch this one. It's easy, all right? It makes you feel warm inside with just a few, plot turns here and there to keep you awake. I think Wendell gives a fantastic low-key and underappreciated performance that holds the film up while Jurnee compliments with her own skill. It's, like I said, it's a little Hallmarky, which is why I didn't give it a higher score, but it's definitely worth the watch as it really, really does a good job of portraying people portraying black people, in a much, much different light. So it's about midway through the movie, and I hit pause, and I'm thinking to myself, what do I want to drink as I catch the last half of this movie? And it just kind of washes over me in a flood, and I automatically think, sidecar. Now, a sidecar. This one's for all you Hennessy and Remy Martin drinkers. I know we haven't done any cognacs as of yet. We've pretty much done bourbons and whiskeys and vodkas. So this one's for you. Now, when you do a sidecar, it does require a sugar rim. So I'll explain that to you in a moment when you do your... Well, a sugar rim is very similar to a salt rim, so it's easy. You know how to do it. The first thing you want to do is you want to get 1.5 ounces of the cognac. You want to get 3/4 ounces of orange liqueur. You should probably still have some Cointreau or Grand Marnier from those margaritas we did all the way back in episode 1 for Fatal Affair. You should then also get about 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, freshly squeezed, and then get that orange twist, okay? And you want to rub it on the rim of the glass and then take your glass and dip it in some sugar. Now, from a mixologist standpoint, it's very important that you find the balance between the sweet and sour of this drink, okay? Too much lemon or too much liqueur can quickly destroy the intended flavor. And the accoutrements of the sugar rim glass adds a sweet contrast to this otherwise potentially sour drink. Now, why did I choose a sidecar? To me, everyone in life needs a sidecar. We all need that one person who is always rolling with us, that one person that we can count on, that one person we can definitely trust. And as I was watching this movie, to me, that's what it was all about. And episode 9 is complete. Now, before I sign off, I just want to take a few moments here to acknowledge something. It was really cool to have an opportunity to review a couple of movies like this. It's not often that Hollywood gives African American men an opportunity to play roles like this. Now, I don't want to get on a racial soapbox and talk about stereotypes and what's right and what's wrong and, this, that, and the other. But I just wanted it to be known that it was really enjoyable reviewing a couple of movies where the African American men didn't use any foul language, didn't disparage their women, didn't drop the N-bomb. Well, they did a little bit in Uncorked. Didn't brandish any weapons. There wasn't any drugs involved. And they played the role of responsible men who loved hard, who took care of their responsibilities, and used their mind to overcome their obstacles instead of using blunt force. So I don't know what this means in the grand scheme of things when you start talking about the roles that are out there, because everyone deserves an opportunity to play whatever they want to play. You want to be a gangster, be a gangster. You want to be a thug, be a thug. That's fine. But I just wanted it to be known that it was cool to watch these guys do this kind of work, because you don't really get a chance to see it very often. So enjoy what you saw. I know I did. No corny jokes about getting drunk this week. All I want you to do is stay safe and get ready for the next episode, because 10 is on the way. Thanks and take care.